Hi there. So this is my project, my sketch. It's a sailing game, and you can see the boat just started moving. It's over here, and it's behind this starting line. So when you first start the program, the boat's just moving here, and it goes across the starting line. The timer starts, and the idea is that you sail around these buoys, or they're actually little islands here. And you can see that the boat's sort of speeding up a little bit and slowing down. Then you can turn it here with the left and right arrow keys, and now it's going a little bit more slowly because I'm sort of sailing at a different angle in relationship to the wind. This up here in the corner is a little compass rose that tells you where the wind is coming from and how strong it is blowing. So this red arrow represents the wind, and it's basically works like a windsock. So the line points in the direction the wind is blowing into, but up here it describes where the wind is coming from and tells you how many knots it is. That is the wind speed. So I'm going to just stop the boat here in the middle of the screen. There we go. So the wind from the southeast, 11 knots. We always describe wind as where it's coming from the southeast. Here's the time elapsed. You can see the timer. And you can see right now I'm pointing into the wind, and there's this little squiggly line representing the sails. That's the kind of standard image of a sailboat where it's pointing so close into the wind that the wind is coming directly over the nose of the boat and you can't move, and the sails are just flapping in the wind. So that's what it represents. If you turn off of the wind a little bit, the sails fill with air and you start to sail, and then you can turn, and you can see every time I turn in relationship to the wind, the sails move about the boat. And that was the tricky part about the game. So the sketch has to know what angle and what strength the wind is at, and then what angle the boat is at in relationship to the wind. And then it has to determine how fast the boat can move at that angle to the wind, and then multiply that by how fast the wind is blowing. So when you're sailing, if you're sailing downwind, like I'm about to right here, the wind is blowing directly from behind the boat. The sails are out all the way, and it's going pretty fast, and also the wind is blowing pretty good, 13 knots. Now if I switch around and now I'm sailing close to the wind, the sails are pulled in more, and I'm going kind of slowly. I can sail into the wind, but not that fast. And then if I turn too close into the wind, the sails just flap around. It's called luffing. Then I have to kind of zigzag a little bit if I want to get around this island. Like this. And that's called tacking. That's what you have to do when you're sailing. And then I'm just going to skip that other island and sail over towards the finish line, although the other thing that I had to figure out was how to get the boat to stop at the edge of the screen and then be able to start up again depending on the wind direction. So you can't really sail that direction, so you got to move away. There we go. Now the wind is coming from directly where I want to sail, so you have to go back and forth. That's what sailing is like. Zigzagging. When I cross the finish line, the timer should stop. There it is. And then you can get the boat to coast to a stop. Also, I have it so it coasts to a stop rather than just stops immediately. I thought that was much more realistic. I didn't do much with sound on this. I just got some free sound off the free audio website, and it's just a loop of sea sounds. The image of the boat is actually a whole series of images. Each one of these where the sails are in relationship to the boat, each one of those is a separate image. Although it looks like the sails are moving. In fact, it's a different image. It's just drawn one on top of the same location. And they're PNGs, so the background is transparent around the sails, and that's what makes it look like the sails are moving. And those were some free clip art that I found. The desktop version that I made uses the left and right arrow keys to steer the boat. I made a web version that has little buttons on the screen to move left and right, and then an Android version that uses the accelerometer to steer the boat. So that's my sailing game. It's a kind of a sort of a physics-based game, but it's physics based on the wind rather than based on gravity, like the example we had in class the other day or the other week. So thanks a lot. Bye.